Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a small village nestled in the rolling hills, with a population of around 200 people. The village was not much to look at, but it was home to some of the most hardworking and ambitious people in the world. One of those people was a young man named Jack. He had big dreams and was determined to make a name for himself in the world. From a young age, Jack had always been fascinated by the idea of success. He wanted to be a successful businessman and create a legacy that would last for generations to come. Jack knew that success was not something that could be achieved easily. He knew that it would take hard work, determination, and a willingness to take risks. So, he dedicated himself to learning everything he could about success. He read every book on the subject that he could find and attended all the seminars and workshops that he could afford. As he grew older, Jack's ambitions only grew stronger. He dreamed of starting his own business, one that would change the world and make him a fortune. He believed that if he worked hard enough, he could achieve anything. So, one day, Jack took a leap of faith and launched his own startup. He invested all his savings and borrowed money from his friends and family to get it off the ground. The business was a success, and it started to grow rapidly. For the first time in his life, Jack felt like he was on top of the world. However, as the business grew, so did the problems. Jack was not prepared for the challenges that came with running a business. He made mistakes, misjudged the market, and failed to predict the changes in the industry. Soon, the business started to decline, and Jack found himself struggling to keep it afloat. Despite his best efforts, the business eventually failed. Jack was devastated. He had put everything he had into the business, and it had all come crashing down. He felt like a failure and thought that his dreams of success had been shattered. Jack was ready to give up. He felt like he had hit rock bottom and had nowhere to go. But then, something unexpected happened. He met an old man who had been very successful in his life. The old man told Jack that failure was not the end, but the beginning of a new journey. He said that every successful person had experienced failure at some point in their life, and it was failure that had taught them the most valuable lessons. The old man then shared his own story of failure and success. He had failed many times in his life, but had never given up. Instead, he had learned from his mistakes, and each time he failed, he came back stronger and more determined to succeed. It was his failures that had taught him valuable lessons and had made him the successful person he was today. Jack was inspired by the old man's story and realized that failure was not something to be afraid of but something to embrace. He understood that failure was not the end but a stepping stone to success. So, Jack picked himself up and decided to try again. He launched a new startup, but this time he was more prepared. He had learned from his mistakes and had a better understanding of what it takes to be successful. The journey was not easy, and Jack faced many challenges and obstacles along the way. But he persevered, and with each setback, he learned a valuable lesson. He applied what he learned and made changes to his approach. Finally, after several attempts, Jack's startup took off, and it became a huge success. He was now a successful businessman, and he had achieved his dream. Looking back, Jack realized that if it wasn't for his failures, he would not have learned the valuable lessons that he needed to succeed. Failure had taught him the importance of perseverance, resilience, and adaptability. It had taught him to be humble and to seek help when he needed it. It had taught him that success is not just about reaching the top, but about the journey you take to get there. Jack realized that failure was not something to be feared or ashamed of, but something to embrace. It was an essential part of the journey to success. Without failure, he would not have learned the lessons that he needed to succeed. As Jack's business grew, he became an inspiration to others in the village. He started to share his story of failure and success, and people started to listen. They realized that failure was not the end, but the beginning of a new journey. They learned that it was okay to fail, and that it was essential to learn from their mistakes. Slowly, but surely, the village started to change. People started to take risks, to dream big, and to embrace failure. They realized that success was not just for the lucky few, but for those who were willing to work hard, to persevere, and to learn from their mistakes. The village started to thrive. New businesses started to pop up, and people started to pursue their passions. The village became a hub of innovation and creativity, and it started to attract people from all over the world. Jack became a leader in the village, and people looked up to him for guidance and inspiration. He had achieved his dream of success, but he knew that his journey was not over. He continued to take risks, to try new things, and to learn from his mistakes. In the end, Jack realized that failure was not just the key to success, but the key to a fulfilling and rewarding life. It was the failures that had taught him the most important lessons and had made him the person he was today. Without failure, he would not have achieved his dreams, and he would not have become the leader he was in the village. And so, the village continued to thrive, and the people continued to embrace failure as the key to success. And Jack's legacy lived on, as a reminder that failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey.